Everything is plastic. It feels as cheap as can be. Oh, did it just break? Everyone loves a good deal, but you also get what you pay for, right? Today, I'm tracking down the absolute cheapest guitar rig that I can find on Amazon to see what it's like. Now, it's been a while since I've spent any real time with dirt cheap gear, but my experiences haven't been great. My expectations for this are pretty low, but let's get shopping. And we'll start with the guitar. I got a couple pieces of criteria here. First of all, it's got to be electric, it's got to be full-sized, and it also has to be available in Canada. And it would seem that the cheapest thing I can find that fits this bill is this Fesley electric guitar for $120. Let's add it to the cart. For an amp, I picked out this name brand Cool Music model Unique 50. That's $130. It says it's 50 watts, so this is the cheapest amp that I can find that goes beyond being a practice bedroom amp. Of course, we also need pedals. It's only 29 bucks for the Stax Distortion. We got a $43 wad to round things out. Now, if my math is right, this whole rig is going to cost about $320. And to give you some perspective, a typical beginner setup is going to run you about twice this. The mid-level, you're looking $1,500 to $2,000, and then the high-end professional stuff, it's gonna go for $5,000 plus. So $320 for all this is insanely cheap, and I suspect it's gonna be reflected in the quality, but let me put the order through and we'll check back when it shows up. And I'll let you know that this is your last chance to get that Black Friday deal over my course platform when you use the link in the description to sign up for my weekly lessons. You're not only gonna get in for half off $7.50 a month, but you're also gonna gain access to all my other courses with that monthly subscription. See, every week in the dojo, we do a lesson on a single topic, and the idea is with 15 to 30 minutes of work, 4 to 5 times a week, this is the kind of thing that you can get under your fingers. My goal with this was to create a clear, concise, direct path to improvement. Show up every week, do the work, and you're gonna see your playing get to that next level. I've also got 9 other full professionally animated courses that outline the system I use every day for making music. All those dojo lessons, all those courses have over a $700 value, and if you use the link in the description, you're gonna gain access for $7.50 a month. This is your last chance to get that pricing. I've never done a sale like this before. Anyways, let's get back to it. Amazon stuff's here. It all came quite quick, so no complaints there. Why don't we get things started by checking out the guitar. First thing I've noticed with this is the manifesto that's written on the box here. Create a graceful tune, enjoy a Fesley life. Every note is alive. Every Fesley has a living soul. The moment you lay your fingers on a Fesley, you're starting a conversation with life, communing with souls, and changing your life. Man, I thought I was buying a cheap guitar, not joining a cult here. So we got a fairly cheap gig bag. At least it comes with one. Now, in my experience, one of the worst things about cheap guitars is the general playability. And as I'm unpackaging this thing, that surprisingly doesn't look like it's going to be a big issue. Fret edges are smooth, action's low, neck looks good. Let's plug this thing in and see what she does. Wow. It is so much better than I thought it would be. Playing wise, no notable issues. It's set up well, it stays in tune, it's easy to play, it's intonated. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's not oozing quality and craftsmanship or anything like that, but I'll tell you, it is a massive step up from the guitar that I started on. Sound-wise, I mean, that's a bit more subjective. I'm not hating what I'm hearing so far, but why don't we compare this against a high-end guitar to give us a reference point? Clearly a different sound there. To my ear, this doesn't have the same richness and character, but it's by no means objectively horrible or anything like that. And I'm not sure that I could pick this out as the cheap option in a blind test. In fact, why don't we try that? Here's 4 strats that cover the pricing spectrum. We got the Fesley at $120, the Squire $250, Mexican Fender $1,000, vintage American Fender about $4,000. I'm gonna play the same riff on the neck pickup of each of these. I'm not gonna show you which is which. See if you can pick them out. So the big reveal, if you said the Fesley was the last one, you'd be right. I played them in descending order of value. My thoughts are this is way better than it has any business being. I've played guitars that were a fair bit more than this, and I would pick this over them. It would by no means be my first choice, but honestly, I would be completely comfortable using this in just about any situation I've ever found myself in with a guitar. If I were to really nitpick, I can find clues that it's cheap. There's a few spots where the finish feels a tad gritty. The tuning peg eyelet's popping up a little bit. Looks like one of the pickup covers was installed upside down. But really, all this stuff is trivial, especially on an $120 instrument. It's amazing that you can get something like this at that price, but there's also part of me that's a bit concerned. It's made in China. What are the labor conditions like? What's happening with the environment to bring you this at this price? I don't know, but it just seems too good to be true. And it's worth noting that I have no connection with this brand or Amazon. However, if you do use my links in the description to buy any of this stuff, I do get a small kickback. So if you do want to buy any of this stuff, I would greatly appreciate it if you use my links. And moving on, we're gonna add the amp to the mix. Cool Music Unique 50. Here it is in all its glory. It's a fair bit smaller than I thought it would be. Not a whole lot of features here. You got volume, distortion, 3 EQ knobs, reverb, that's about it. Let's get a straight up clean tone going, see what's going on. Now, let's bring in a little bit of reverb. And here we're gonna kick in the drive channel. So I'm not nearly as impressed by this as I am the guitar. I know wattage doesn't necessarily correlate with loudness, but I thought it would be a fair bit louder at 50 watts. Even at full volume, this could never keep up with a drummer. I was hoping you'd be able to use this to jam, but really, it's nothing more than a practice amp. Clean sound, kind of what I was expecting. I don't care for the distortion at all, and the reverb is also pretty trash. It's about $50 more than that little Fender that so many of us start on, and that seems like a fair price. I'm not underwhelmed, I'm not overwhelmed, I am just simply whelmed by this. And next we've got the distortion pedal. Definitely doesn't feel cheap. In fact, it feels, just as heavy and well built as any other distortion pedal I've ever used. 3 knobs, tone, level, gain. Let's plug it in, start getting some sounds. You know what, I'm gonna play this through my normal amp to give you a clear idea of the sound, because I have a feeling anything going through the Unique 50 is gonna sound not so great. You know what? That is pretty good. Maybe not the exact sound that I would personally go for, but that's pretty dang good. And again, I'm feeling a little bit suspicious with this. Was the circuit just straight up stolen from something else? Was it assembled using prison labor? If this is legit and this is what they can make in China for $30, I don't see how this doesn't have huge ramifications for the entire pedal economy. And I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to check out this wah now. Oh. It's an absolute piece of shit. Everything is plastic. It feels as cheap as can be. Oh, did it just break? No, I think the mechanism just sucks. So this is definitely the worst pedal that I've ever used. The wah effect sounds fine enough, but wah is also the simplest effect in the world. You can't really screw it up. However, the switch sucks, so it just randomly turns on and off. But it is just the absolute cheapest manufacturing. There's a grinding, crunching of plastic as you use it. It reminds me of when I accidentally step on one of my kids' toys and I hear it breaking under my foot. It's that experience coupled with a wah. I guarantee you it'll be broken soon after you start using it. It smells funny. Never buy this. But if you do, use my link in the description. Here we've assembled Amazon's cheapest guitar rig. And now what I'm gonna do is, on top of just playing all this stuff together, I'm gonna swap out the individual pieces with their higher end equivalents to give you an idea of what's really influencing the tone here. Let's make some music. All right, there you have it. Let's do our final grading here. The Fesley guitar gets an A. I am super impressed to the point where I have human rights concerns. There's some minor quality things, but for $120, it is way better than it has any business being. If you upgraded the pickups, you'd have a completely usable guitar. Cool music, unique 50 amp, it gets a passing grade, it gets a C. It's fine, it's worth the price, but there are probably just as good options out there. The Stax distortion pedal gets an A+. It's insane that this is $30. It feels as good as any other pedal that I've used. And if you like the sound of this, I can't imagine that there could possibly be any better value out there for you. The wah pedal gets an F, and it's expelled from school. It is the worst pedal that I've ever used. Pedals should not be single-use disposable trash, but that's exactly what this is. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's the cheapest Amazon guitar rig. If you want to check any of this stuff out, I've got some links in the description. Remember, I'm wrapping up that Black Friday sale over at the Samurai Guitar Dojo. You can join us for weekly lessons over there. If you use the link in the description, you're not only going to get in for half off, $7.50 a month, but you're also going to gain access to all my other courses with your monthly subscription. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, look after the planet. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.